Welcome back to As the Shotgun Turns. I'm Helen.
I'm Brin.
We are going to be talking about Xena, Season 3, Episode 4, The Deliverer.
It's a must-watch episode.
It is a must-watch episode. I regret it being such things, but
yes.
Anyway, we can watch it. It's an interesting time. You're just going to have to bear with us. Neither one of us really liked it.
No. Like, so much so I didn't like it. I got, like, very few notes, even.
I actually have about the same amount of notes as last time. It's just, they're filled with a lot.
Alright, so we start off and we actually get to meet Discord for the first time in the Xenoverse.
Yes. I don't know if we've met her on Hercules before, this time.
I don't know either.
Probably. The way she was introduced was as though we already knew her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess we were supposed to already know her from Hercules. Fuck Hercules. In a good way.
So it starts off with Discord and Ares having a conversation about the one god and a cult and a temple.
Yes.
He's like, I guy on to destroy this temple.
Yes.
And Discord's upset that he let a mortal take care of it.
Instead of doing it himself. Which, fair point, man.
And yet Ares turned around and said, if you think I can do it, then why don't you?
That's also a fair point.
So the pantheon of gods is not keen on going up against this one god. Which through this episode they did make sure to make a point to say that this is not the one god of the Israelites.
But they don't do that until after they've laid on some very thick anti-one god propaganda.
Oh, did they ever?
For the first half of the episode, they just talked about how one god doesn't even make sense. And, yeah. Anyway, but then they were like, yeah, it's not the one god of the Israelites, so that's not who we're talking about this time.
Yeah, after it was declared that it was evil, clearly evil, and no good comes from this one god. It's like, oh, you're not the god that, we first thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, they
got
did.
it.
Yeah.
Different claiming of one god.
I have here, too, that Ares is acting like he's the good guy. But he's, doing it in such a sus way. Because, this points out, why wouldn't he just destroy the temple? Why would he send a mortal after it?
Because he doesn't want to go up against the one god.
Yeah, but sending a mortal after it's going to do the same thing. The one god comes in regardless, and making it pissed off doesn't make it less go away.
Well, technically, the way that was described is that if they destroyed this temple, then the one god wouldn't come into play.
Well, that's not how any god works. They should know that. How were they born?
With ambrosia. Not all of them, I know.
Almost none of them.
No, but, Xena makes a point of that. Because when Ares came to her to talk about it, going, I have, Caesar has taken a part of this temple. I told him he should destroy it, and he hasn't. Maybe you should try to manipulate, as he tries to manipulate her.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is our world. And she's like, and before you, whose world was it? Oh yeah, the Titans.
Yeah. After his dudes
then he went sheepish.
Them all. Yeah, because his dad went and murdered all the Titans to get them power. It's the circle of life. But that's a conversation for another season. 2 seasons from now, to be exact.
Would like you to share your note on our meeting of Discord.
I wrote that I preferred the Q version. And that's a very niche way of putting it. But
and if anybody has caught that, understands what she means, please email us and let us know.
Yeah, because I'm not going to explain it.
But it made
me... you know.
But I have to agree with that. The Q version of Discord is far superior.
That's all I'm saying. You know. But, yeah, that's what I wrote for Discord. They go ahead and they come across these dudes that are dragging prisoners. And Xena was gonna just walk by because she didn't want to get involved. And then one of them mentioned Caesar, and she got so triggered.
So triggered.
So fast. So then naturally she had to free everybody that was being...
Without any reason. She walked up to the main guards like, you're going to let these guys go. Why? I'll give you reasons. And starts fighting them. Looks at the one guy, is like, I don't normally get to reason 4. And he screams and runs away.
She fought 3 of the 4 guys. It's clever. It's clever. So she did all that. But it's just... I don't know. It was just really fast. So Caesar was doing the job. Obviously. Because the guys that are rescued are temple dudes.
Yes. North Gaul, I believe is what they were saying.
Yeah, so we find that out. And then creepy dude, who's creepy.
Craftstar.
Sure. Starts talking to Gabby.
Trying to teach her the ways of his one god.
Yeah.
And as he was, arms up and captured before he got released.
Yeah.
And he fell over and he's like, whatever, do what you want with, you might as well just kill us now before you bring us to Caesar. The look he gave as...
He knew mentioning Caesar would trigger Xena.
Yeah.
He knew.
And you could clearly see that on his face.
Yeah.
And so the entire episode, you're sitting there going, no, Gabby, stop talking to him, Gabby. Oh my God, don't be an idiot.
But she's always an idiot. She just needs a good dude to tell her a story, and that's it. She's set for life. She's set. I actually have that down. Gabby is so easy. Oh my God, just needs a nice story. But before that, I do have one god is very far-fetched for sure.
Yep.
But it did also feel like the entire thing felt really, really random with like no lead up whatsoever. And I know we had the lead up from the episode that was apparently supposed to come after this episode in Dirty Half Dozen, but at the same time, it didn't. I don't know. This episode was really all over the place because while that's all happening, as if that's not enough of a storyline, then we bring in Boadicea.
Yep.
And it's like, and she's there to fight Caesar, but Xena betrayed her in the past, and there's a whole thing there, as though there isn't enough going on with Xena being super triggered by Caesar.
She gets to be triggered by the fact that she betrayed Boadicea.
Yeah. And then there's all that fighting.
No.
And then there's the fighting between the two armies on top of all the shit with the temple. It's too much for 44 minutes.
Yes.
And almost none of it made sense. Carry on. Sorry.
As they make it from the boat to the land, and to the land, shut up.
To the land.
And the Roman troop realizes that they landed and not turned around. They start fighting and Boadicea shows up and just starts fighting with Xena against the Romans as if no reason to not.
Well, I mean, I do think in the heat of battle, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right? So, I mean, she wasn't super nice to Xena afterwards like that.
No.
That relationship made sense on the surface. It was just too much crap for one episode.
They didn't even bring up the whole fact that that Xena betrayed her.
Xena said sorry, and then Boadicea was like, I'm not here for that right now. And she had, like, other shit to deal with.
Yeah. And says, like, shut up with your sorries. I'll just deal with this right now.
Yeah, we're dealing with this. And then at the end of the episode, she's like, I can see you're not the same person, and then just leaves. Never to be seen again.
Yeah. And it's funny, because when talked about Boadicea, Gabrielle's like, you know Boadicea? And then stops herself. She's like, of course you know Boadicea. You're the who's who of warriors.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So they're coming up with a plan to stop Caesar. Ares even comes in and is like, hey, you could just go kill that temple and get there before because Caesar really loves that temple.
He kept people there, so...
It's a strategic point. You should get rid of it. But because he's doing it that way, Xena is instantly like, no. That's fucking suspicious.
Yeah.
Had he been like, hey,
Caesar
has Gabrielle at that temple, you might want to go get that checked out. Which had the, luck of being true.
No, Caesar had Gabrielle at the camp. Gabrielle was only at that temple after they liberated it and stayed with the priestess.
But when Xena and Ares were talking, Gabrielle was at that temple.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I forgot that Gab got captured.
Yeah, Gab got captured with Craftstar.
That's how fast it was.
You didn't even get to really see it. Oh, you did get to see it happening because the guard wrapped his arm around Renee's midriff.
Yeah.
So gently.
He was barely touching her belly. Because it was the way you could see it. You could kind of see under his hand. Like, I just thought it was really respectful.
Like, props to him and everything for being that way.
Yeah, but it kind of took me out of it because I could tell he was trying to be respectful. And, hired guns aren't respectful.
yeah, you're getting captured. You're not being respected right now. Yeah. But, good job, dude.
Yeah, at the same time, it was just kind of a weird way of doing it, I guess. I don't know.
So, Gabrielle and Craftstar gets to Caesar's camp.
Yeah.
And Caesar's sitting there hiding. As Gabrielle's like, Xena will get us out of this. Xena will protect us. Xena will save the day.
Yeah.
And as soon as Caesar comes around going, Xena hasn't changed. Remove the woman from her sensibilities. Blah, blah, blah. Divide and conquer bullshit.
Which is hilarious because she owns him this episode.
Yeah.
But, so Caesar finds out that Gabrielle is Xena's friend, and then he goes and gets them to be crucified, and blah, 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 blah. And of course Xena
is hiding under the earth.
Because Xena knows that Caesar's gonna crucify Gabrielle, because she's not dumb. But that's when Gabrielle and Craftstar go over to the temple.
Yes. They liberate the temple. The Gabs and Craftstar stay at the temple.
Right, and then Xena's out plotting for the rest of the battle, away from Gabrielle. That's when Ares comes in, and because I remember thinking, if Ares had just mentioned that Gabrielle was at that temple and needed to be taken care of,
danger is happening at danger. Gab's in danger at that temple.
That temple would have been leveled
100%.
Instantly. Because the instant that temple got a little bit of a dark cloud over top of it, she abandoned everyone and was gone.
Yeah, even her hatred for well, she didn't abandon her hatred for Caesar.
She just left.
She tucked it down and
just left.
Just, went back to her girlfriend.
Yeah, she just left.
Yep.
But anyway, at the temple, there's all this stuff going on.
Ritual.
It's ritual stuff. There's a bunch of people. There's like 12 of them at least. They got a full coven going on. What? What do you want to call it?
I don't know. There's got to be a better word for it.
All right.
It's a cult.
I'm sure, because... Alright, they're not... Those words are not mutually exclusive.
Fair.
And the guy, the star guy...
Craftstar.
is telling Gabrielle about the ceremony they need to perform, and then this other chick comes in and she's like, yeah, we gotta do this thing, and then they pretend to sacrifice him.
Taking him, saying how Dayhawk needs to come by through blood.
Oh, I hate that word so much.
Dayhawk?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gabrielle tries to be a hero and save Craftstar. I almost called him Crapstar.
I mean, that fits. Excuse me.
And that's when she goes and stabs Meridian.
Is that her name? was because and see, I don't understand how this qualifies as a blood innocence lost. First of all, because Gabrielle's killed before.
Nope.
Oh, she has. We can pretend she hasn't because we can play the rules. We can play Doctor Who rules, and we can play Aang rules, where if you leave them hanging off a cliff with no way to get back, it's not technically murder.
But that's just it.
Okay.
She has never...
But this is also not cold-blooded murder.
It is not cold-blooded murder.
It's not even remotely cold-blooded murder.
But the blood innocence is that it's the first time she's drawn blood through a knife.
Sure. I mean, like, it's super specific, but, like... No. Because she's also lured people to their death, and that is still murder. It's still causing a death. Anyway, I don't agree with any of that nonsense. And she gets super weird about it.
She gets traumatized.
But, like, in a way that is so out of proportion for her character and the amount of deaths she's been around.
Because it's the first one that somebody who she's killed, blood's on her hands.
Yeah, I don't care. It is an out of character response. It is an out of character response.
I don't find it to be completely out of character response because she did value value life. Okay. No. Traveling with Xena, you don't think she would, but
I mean, I get it to a certain extent, but also no.
But it's also
no.
It's also why she gets enthralled by the whole Eli stuff, right?
I get it, but also no. I have just spent time watching her character, and the words that she says and the actions she do, not the same.
The actions she do.
The actions she do. They're not the same.
That has been steady for her the entire time,
but that's
though.
what I'm talking about. When she talks about respecting life, when she talks about preserving the sanctity of life, 1 minute, the next minute, she's doing whatever she can to murder someone for Meleager.
She didn't murder anybody.
I said, what? Again, leaving them to die.
Who did she leave to die?
I don't know, but I know she's done it.
I think you're missing out old Gabrielle with this Gabrielle because during these episodes,
no, I don't believe. I'm sorry, she doesn't even show a little bit of concern until this, and then after this, then she's suddenly no more violence. Before this, she's fighting in wars
with a staff,
but actively fighting in wars
with the staff.
But you cannot be actively supporting a war battle and be anti-murder. You can't be fighting in a war and be No.
You're not wrong.
No. I'm sorry. I just don't buy this. I don't buy this reasoning. I don't buy this use of her character. Because also, you'd want it to be willingly. Gods want willing sacrifices.
Generally.
Yeah. They're not super unhappy with unwilling. And usually the willing has to either be the one doing the sacrifice. It has to be the one doing the sacrificing. It doesn't have to be the one sacrificed. That's often great because choices, whatever. But it doesn't have to be the one sacrificed. But it does have to be the one doing the sacrificing. To make it work.
But in this particular god, Dayhawk wanted Gabrielle to be the one killing somebody. Didn't care how.
I think this is really not explained in any way, shape, or form. And it's faulty reasoning.
Crap, Star went and explained it before he turned into the deliverer.
No, he didn't.
He did.
And to make this No, he didn't. That's typical prophet speak for you're the chosen one, which means you're the most convenient fucking one at the time. For fuck's sakes. Actually, I don't know. I can't remember. We're going to find out. Now I'm starting to remember if he was targeting Xena, because he might have been. We'll see.
Yeah, we still have to watch Gabrielle's Hope.
Yeah.
For the record, we did not do the 1 and 2.
No, we didn't.
That was hard.
That episode was, it's really, really, really messy. I did really appreciate when Xena was mocking the god after he turned into the Deliverer.
But technically, he wasn't a god. He was just the...
I mean, he turned into
minion.
a whole demon thing.
Yes, because he's the Deliverer. Because now that he has Gabrielle's blood innocence, he's supposed to be welcoming Dayhawk into the world fully,
right?
By killing Xena.
Right. But what's the deal with that? Like, I hope this is explained next episode, because otherwise this episode's an entire mess and none of it made any sense. Because it all seems super, super convenient while also needing to be super specific.
Right. Because and having the Bodhisattva and the Caesar thing must have been a way to get them to, like, North Gaul.
Yeah.
But,
and then, like, did Ares plan it all? Because Ares kind of master manipulated it, right? And, of course, we're not even mentioning the part where, like, Gabrielle then gets to have sex with fire. So, good times. She's impregnated, and then we get to deal with that in the next episode. But which I hate baby storylines. And the next episode I've literally watched maybe twice, but I highly doubt it. So I
will admit that during my rewatches I skipped the Deliverer and Gabrielle's Hope a lot, because though I will have to give props to Renee, because while it did nothing for you, the scream that she let out after everything, it still hit, it still resonated in me.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the whole situation. Okay, you know what it was? I understand what my feelings are. I didn't buy she would be that upset for killing somebody in the defense of someone else.
That makes sense, because...
So, I bought that she could be upset about being tricked or whatever, but that she wasn't upset about. She was upset just about the killing, and I didn't believe that she would be upset for killing in the defense of others. Not that way.
I wonder if she's actually even upset. A part of her being upset is that while she did it to defend somebody else, it wasn't in helping Xena.
I don't know. Because she definitely has no problems being super murdery in defense of Xena.
Yeah, everything breaks at that point. But that is further along.
Mm-hmm.
And back when you actually like Gabrielle.
She gets there. She's just got some growing pains, and that's fine.
You just hate having to go through them with her.
Also brings up uncomfortable memories. Overall, though, I didn't like this episode. Solid 5.
Yeah, 5. It was a 5. Like, we rated it right there going, oh my god. The key events were that Gabrielle kills a person for the first time. First mention of Dayhawk. First appearance of Discord in the Xenoverse.
Does it mention if Discord appears in Hercules before that, though?
I think it did.
Okay.
And that this was apparently the start of the rift.
It is kind of the start of the rift. But I think... And they tried really hard to make it seem like Xena's, lust for revenge and her hatred was the driving factor for all of this, but it clearly wasn't. It's very clearly orchestrated.
Yes. It was very manipulated to be that way.
And Xena's hate is clearly not the reason for it, because the instant Xena knew that Gabrielle was in danger, she stopped everything and went to Gabrielle.
Yeah. Because if she had went and finished the battle first and then went to Gabrielle, we knew her hatred would have been better.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been...
yeah, exactly.
But...
So, I'm having a hard time with these motivations.
Mm-hmm.
Which will make the musical episode a little bit more interesting.
Yeah!
But
I am very interested to see how we're going to handle that musical episode.
Poorly.
I mean, we're going to sing it all the way.
It's poorly. We're going to handle it poorly.
But with these new revelations that we've had...
Okay, what was the disclaimer?
The disclaimer that Gabrielle was slightly well done during the production of this motion picture. However, the producers would like to recommend a zesty barbecue sauce to bring out the flavor of this episode. And please do, because apparently you need barbecue sauce for this flavor, for this episode.
West.
Dude!
Anyway, for... oh God, I'm sorry. The next episode's gonna be great, I promise.
Don't promise that. It's Gabrielle's hope.
I mean, I promise our podcast will be great because I'm going to mock that episode a lot. I hate baby episodes. Wesley, it's not your time to talk.
2 minutes.
Anyway, if you want to talk to us, you can email us at asthechakramturns@gmail.com. You can find us on the social medias with asthechakramturns. And I guess that's good for next time. Or good until next time. Wesley, enough. We're sorry about our dog. He just wants to talk to everybody as well.
Thanks for joining us.